Hey y'all, iRick Sky here, and I wanted to do a quick initial impressions review of the 2021 iMac. This is the 2021 iMac M1, also commonly referred to as the Apple Silicon iMac. So, apologize for the first video, and thanks to a few viewers, you can see I got my shirt and my gym shorts on. My initial impressions video, my first initial impressions video that I filmed, my secondary monitor flicked off and it had a shine to it, and I had just gotten out of I had on swim trunks, but I didn't have a shirt on when I was filming it, and you could see me in the reflection when the screen went black, and it looked like I was standing here naked, but I wasn't. I had my swim trunks on. Nevertheless, because I don't want to do any sort of troll video or anything like that, I deleted that initial impressions video and I'm refilming this one. So I'm going to share with you the same initial impressions that I had initially. So first of all, the design of the new iMac M1, you can see there I got the purple. The back is a very dark purple. The front's kind of a lighter color purple. It came with two stickers. Came with a dark purple, a light purple, and then a dark purple, which I found to be interesting. And the keyboard it's got purple to it. It's kind of a light purple. See that? This video is in 4K, so if you got 4K, crank it up. The trackpad is purple on the edge. The cable that came with it to charge the keyboard and the trackpad is also purple. The cable that runs down to the charging brick is purple. The charging brick is white, and the cable from the charging brick to the wall is white. They put a lot of really good colors in this. I got purple just because I think it looks crazy. And actually, this is the first time there's been an iMac offered in color option since the original iMac, which was a CRT iMac. I owned it, and I also had purple when I owned that iMac, so I just thought it was a cool color. As far as size is concerned, and you can see here, this obviously is a 24-inch, 4.5K display, the iMac M1. This right here is a 27-inch LG display, 3840 by 2160, which is a 4K display. Immediately, and this is a very high quality display, so don't take these comments the wrong way. LG makes a solid display, but that's as bright as this display will go right there. And I want to show you something that's going to blow your mind here. So let's see. Let me start an upload first. I'm always uploading YouTube videos, man. I gotta keep that content flowing. So let me start an upload here, and then I'm going to flip over, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with the not just incredible quality, but phenomenal quality. So that right there is an LG 4K display, which I feel is excellent quality. But that's as bright as it'll go. That's as bright as this display will go. See, when I go up here and I go into menu and I go to brightness, brightness is at 100%. Okay. That wallpaper, that's a photo I took on Jost Van Dyke in the British Virgin Islands. Curiously enough, I have the same wallpaper on my iMac M1. The brightness on my iMac M1 is not even maxed out. That's how radically different. And again, look closely here. I'll pull it back a little bit. Look at how much brighter the iMac M1 is. And again, it's not even maxed out brightness on the iMac M1, but the LG is. Also, just the overall sharpness, which is to be expected. I mean, this is a 4.5K display versus a 3840 by 2160. But this iMac M1, again, back to initial impressions, as a monitor alone, it's worth it. I mean, this monitor, I thought I was doing well with my LG. Great monitor. But when I edit photos and videos, just the level of detail, the brightness, the truer representation of what it's going to look like I mean, look at that tree, for example. See it? Yeah, that looks good. But look at how much more detailed the tree is from this. Of course, I got icons on top of it. Look at those shadows under the chairs out on Yost Van Dyke. I mean, Apple has done a phenomenal job. I mean, a lot of people were saying, man, you know, the iMac M1, the current, at the time of filming this, the current Mac Mini M1 and the MacBook Pro 13-inch M1 and the MacBook Air M1, they all use the same M1 processor. And that's true. But the thing is with this is that I'm getting the monitor. And that's what makes it so much better, because I do a ton of photo editing, a ton of video editing. And to have such a rock-solid monitor in front of me, it's great. Now, obviously, I plugged in the secondary display just so I can, I do my primary editing on this because, the image quality is just so much better. The brightness is so much better. But I've got my secondary monitor that I can use. I drag my digital assets over there so I can, pull between here and there. Typically, I just use one monitor, but since I have this 3840 by 2160, and the reason I'm keeping it is I use my ATEM Mini Pro that's over there, and this functions as my multi-view monitor. So since I'm going to have it for that anyway, I figured I might as well make it a secondary display for my iMac 2021 iMac M1 computer. So it does a great job doing that. But again, if you just wanted to use this without an extra monitor, it's more than enough screen real estate, in my opinion. So it goes without saying the speed, and you can check out my Mac Mini M1 and my MacBook Air M1 videos. The speed is, to be expected. It's the same processor. I did go with my Mac Mini, with my iMac M1. I did go with 1 terabyte of storage and 16 gigs of memory. So I maxed out the memory. I didn't max out the storage because I've got an external 14 terabyte mechanical hard drive behind this that I use for mass storage. But 1 terabyte gives me enough space when I'm editing, and I can, have plenty of space for a full day's worth of videos and edit those. And then the video that I want to retain, I can copy off to my external cheap serial ATA 14 terabyte hard drive for retention. And then I've got that backed up to Backblaze, which is a cloud backup service. So, not all videos do I save. If it's just miscellaneous junk, I'll probably edit it, post it, and then delete it. But stuff like this, that content from the background, man, videos I've got from Yost Van Dyke, I'm going to retain those forever. Oh, speaking of this, again, looking at the monitor quality, look at those clouds. And look at the clouds there. It's just, when you sit here and look at this iMac and you scrutinize and compare it to many other popular monitors that are on the market, I challenge you to find one that's better. Yeah, probably the Apple Pro XDR display, but come on, man, that's an expensive piece of equipment. But to get this much performance, the M1, to get the awesome monitor, I think that it's well worth it. And in all sincerity, and check out my videos where I do benchmarks of this, but, all sincerity, you may not want to go with 16 gigs of memory, and you may not want to go with 1 terabyte storage. You may be okay with 8 gigs of memory and 512 storage. I probably wouldn't go below 512, but for example, with my MacBook Air M1, I've got 8 gig memory and 512 storage, and it's more than enough. But for my primary editing computer, which is this, having that extra SSD storage, 1 terabyte instead of 512 is nice. And then also having the extra memory. So, and again, I haven't brought my MacBook Air M1 with 8 gigs of memory to its knees, but, having double the memory is just, a good peace of mind for me when I do so much multitasking while I video edit. So I'm super stoked. My initial impressions of the 2021 iMac M1 is highly favorable, as you might tell after, while watching this video. But I do want to point out a few things, to keep things honest. I like Apple stuff, but I'm not an Apple fanboy. So I'm just going to tell you some of the things I've noticed that are strange. There's no logo there. And curiously enough, these little stickers that came with it, and I'm not going to do this, but they're sized if one wanted to stick a sticker right in the front middle, they could. You know, and this one, since I got purple, it came with dark purple and the light purple. So if that's an annoyance for you, you know, hey, at least you could always attach a sticker if you wanted to. Excuse me. The camera, radically improved. If you're doing, you know, like a WebEx or GoToMeeting, Skype, etc., that built-in web camera is great. But not only the built-in web camera, the microphones are great. You know, you don't need, I mean, unless you're doing something, and again, I use professional audio equipment. I've got professional audio equipment over here behind me. But, you know, for most video conferencing purposes, this integrated webcam and this integrated microphone system is probably going to knock your socks off. This is the highest quality webcam that's been in an iMac to date. So that's huge. That's been an area where Apple's typically, you know, giving you a little bit less technology. They've had webcams that are kind of not cutting edge, but this one is. And something else I want to mention, previously I used my, and this is a very nice little speaker. It's the Beats, Dr. Dre by Beats Pill Plus. Previously I used that for my Mac. But the integrated speakers in this sound really incredible. And it's amazing that they sound so good coming from something so thin. And that's the other thing I wanted to point out. Look at how thin this thing is. And one of the viewers commented, they're like, dude, it's kind of like a big iPad. And you're right, it is. And so you got, now there's only 4 ports. 2 are the Thunderbolt, and 2 are just USB-C. So this is the rear of the Mac. The rear of the Mac does have an Apple logo. But when you're putting the rear of your Mac in a corner, like I am in my fine studio here, you don't get to see the back of the Mac. I still wish they would have put a logo on the front. That's just kind of weird they didn't. I'll admit it does bother me. I like seeing that Apple logo there. But I guess now they're just kind of like, dude, we're Apple. We don't even need to tell you our brand. Just because when you see it, you'll know because it's so high quality that it's Apple. I don't know. Tell me what you think below. But yeah, the speakers in this thing are incredible. Again, so good that I don't feel that I need my Beats Pill Plus, which that is an incredible Bluetooth speaker. You know, if you're looking for a speaker for your computer, whether it's a Mac or a PC, you know, you might want to consider that. But yeah, the audio coming out of this is great. Also, I really like the keyboard because it has TouchID. So I can use my fingerprint. Now, you know, when I'm wearing my Apple Watch will unlock my iMac, but when I'm wearing a Rolex or something like that, those don't have the ability to unlock an iMac. So in that scenario, I just want to use my finger and, you know, push that TouchID. And again, not only is the keyboard and the touchpad colored, and you can get mouse. I hate the Apple mice. That's an area where Apple, in my opinion, has failed. I love this trackpad though. But yeah, it's purple. This is slightly different design than the previous. Check out my other video where I show a side-by-side comparison of the 2021 iMac's keyboard and touchpad versus the previous generation Apple keyboard and touchpad. And you can see the subtle differences, but it feels really good. The keys feel nice. And again, being able to, you know, recharge it by way of the included lightning cable is great. You know, that's the same type cable you use to charge your current model iPhone. So, yeah, my initial impressions of the iMac M1 are highly favorable. If you're looking to get, you know, here's the thing. If you're going to get an M1 and you don't need it to be portable, go with the iMac because you're getting this awesome display. If portability is a concern, in my opinion, go with the MacBook Air, man. I couldn't justify the extra spend for the MacBook Pro 13-inch M1 that's, you know, a little bit heavier, still uses the M1. For that reason, I love my MacBook Air M1. You know, if you want portability, I'll go MacBook Air M1. And to keep it cheap, I'd probably just go 8 gig 512. And again, with the iMac, if you go with it, 8 gig 512 is probably more than enough for you. And you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find where to order the various iMac configurations online. But yeah, and if you want to kind of do it on the cheap, there's nothing wrong with the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini is great, the Mac Mini M1, but you're going to need to bring your own monitor. So factor that in. If you've got a monitor like I did, which is a good monitor, I thought it was a good monitor, until I put it beside my iMac. Again, I think the best bang for the buck, if you don't need portability, is to just get the iMac because you're getting this awesome integrated display. But if you want to do it on the cheap, you know, nothing wrong with the Mac Mini. That's a very powerful machine. You just bring your own monitor, your own mouse, and your own keyboard, and you're off to the races with it. So, yeah, just wanted to post this video again. You know, my first initial impressions video of the 2021 iMac M1 was, you know, I took it down because I'd been outside and I had, you know, swim trunks on and I filmed and my monitor was dark and you could see me here. It looked like I was sitting there naked, but I wasn't. I mean, I had on my swim trunks. So anyway, I took it down. I don't like videos to be trolled, and I appreciate people. Well, not people. There was one viewer that commented, and I'm glad they did, because I always watch my videos before I publish, but for whatever reason, I didn't see that reflection in the monitor, so that was bad. But yeah, any questions you have about the 2021 iMac M1, ask below, and I'll try my best to respond with an upcoming video. Very good machine. Very powerful, smokes the Intels. It's great. It really is. Will there be a faster iMac? Oh, without a doubt. They're always releasing faster computers. Will they release an iMac with a bigger screen? Probably so. Will it cost more? Probably a lot more. So, you know, just a few things to consider. But I really like the purple. Hey, if you get an iMac M1, what color do you want to get and why? Comment below. Thanks for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon when you do, to be notified whenever I post another video. Y'all have a good day.